Happy Saturday, everybody, and thanks for joining in on yet another Saturday live stream. What a day so far. It's been a busy day. It's been a day with the release of a new Steel Snobs video. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the series that I've made literally the fewest amount of videos in, but is also the most popular series that I've made to date. I don't know. I go down the rabbit hole frequently, often, in depth, in detail, and often just in my own little world. What a day. What a day. Man, shout out to everybody in the chat. We got some people coming in, and you know, our Saturdays are they're more of a chill vibe, right? We don't have the cachet that the Wednesday live stream has, despite the fact that whether it's Wednesday or Saturday, it's still me. The whole idea of the Saturday live stream was to give people the opportunity to pop in for those who can't make the late night live on Wednesday. And I'm glad to start seeing more and more people hop in on these Saturday lives. Shout out to Brian Kerr, who's in the chat, first person in the chat. He says, hello, where is everyone? I'm here, present. I think I'm here. We got Knives Are Life, a channel member. Thanks for being a channel member. Shout out to, we got Fook Doozle, another channel member in the house. The Night's Edge, another channel member in the house. That's right, we're a fan of the sound effects here, but you guys know that. We've got I'm Me, another channel member. Jim Miller in the house as well. Greg Vanderlip says, smash that like button on the way in. Just give it a little tappy tap. You know, you don't have to be violent. Just, you know, lovingly caress it until it highlights the thumbs up button. Shout out to Neil McKenzie joining in as well. We have Kathleen Smith here. Ginger Fisher 75, another channel member. Todd Carr, he says, listening while making supper. Listening while making supper, what time is it where you are? Or do you work a night shift? That might make sense. I'm not sure. It's always interesting for me to find out where people are tuning in from. And it looks like did I screw the pooch on the scheduling? It's supposed to be 1:30 Mountain Standard Time. I do schedule it in advance. You know, I do try to do that in advance. Did I screw up the timing on that? I don't know. On my end, it says that it was scheduled for 1:30. Maybe I didn't do it correctly. Did I do 1:30 a.m.? Did I do that again? I may have. Apologies if I screwed the pooch on the timing, guys. Shout out to Snot Rag joining us as well. We have Humphrey Chimpton, another channel member. Marco, another channel member. Mr. Prosthetic joining as well. He says, howdy, folks. Howdy. Thomas McDonald, another channel member in the house. We got so many channel members, mainly because we've got so many generous people who gift memberships like crazy, and I appreciate each and every one of you who does that. It helps support the channel, whether you join as a member yourself, whether you donate a single dollar or gift, you know, 15, 20 memberships. All of that helps keep this channel running, and I appreciate each and every one of you who does that. So thank you. Guys, it's been a day already. I attempted to make pizza, and it did not go over well. Yeah. So we're going to leave that one in the past. But it also means that lunch is going to be a little bit late. It's okay. It's 1:33 here in Spyderco land in Colorado. But I'm wondering, what time is it where you're from? And more importantly, what did you carry today? Today, I'm carrying my modified Emerson Edition Blade Ops exclusive Spyderco PM2 that's been heavily modified. And I love this thing. This knife, I need to do an update video on this knife. I never did a proper review of the Blade Ops exclusive Emerson Edition PM2. I just went 100% into modifying it and never looked back, but maybe I should, because it's just such a good go-to piece. For those of you who are channel members, make sure you check out our Discord. Channel members get access to the members only Discord, and you don't have to stay a member to remain in the Discord. You just have to be a member when you join. And currently, if you go to the community tab on my channel, you will actually see a link to the Discord. Go ahead, join up. And if you're interested in that and you're not currently a channel member, give it a shot. Give it a try. We also have our Steel Snobs steel comparison sheet that's available in that Discord as well. So let's see what's popping in the Discord. And boom, there we go. There we go. So channel members, if you'd like to have your carry or your knife featured on the live stream, post a picture in the pocket check section of the Discord. Ed's coming in hot with this one, and I think that this one is one that he modified. That is a good looking civivi. It sounds like he did some RIT dye on that frag pattern on the handle scales. That looks nice. I'm not familiar with that specific civivi, and I feel kind of embarrassed that I don't know which one that is. Listen, there's so many civivis and Kaisers and everything that sometimes I just can't stay on top of it all. I just can't. Mr. Prosthetic says it's 12:33 and I carried the PMP Aries and the Husqvarna 455. Did you carry a chainsaw today? Is that what we're doing? We're chopping down trees? Does it come with a pocket clip? Asking for a friend. It's me. I'm the friend. Hey, and shout out to Top Dog joining in as well. Channel member, channel moderator, local legend. Quite possibly the most interesting man in the world. Top Dog, do you do Dos Equis commercials? Can I get in on those? Oh, man. Good to see you, Top Dog. Thanks for joining in on a Saturday. Yeah, we're still working on getting these Saturdays up and running. But yeah, no, this is cool. I don't know why I'm spacing on which civivi this is, but I do believe that Ed did RIT dye that himself. That's fantastic. His comment on that, get out of here. No, I don't want to learn more. His comment on that was $46 and a $4 bottle of RIT dye, 14C Super Steel. I like it, man. And then we got the Knight's Edge coming in with the Ultim Titius. God, I love me a Titius. Titiuses are so decent. They're such a good carry, and I don't think it matters if you get one in titanium or one in Ultim or one in G10. They're really good. I do prefer the one in titanium because I'm a sucker for titanium, but I bet you that one is super light. Some people are not a fan of the yellow Ultim. That's me. But they are super light, and I know a lot of people really dig that material. Mark Peel, check this out. He's got, now that's a carry. He's got the Winter Blade Co. Factor. Is that a batch 3? I think that's a batch 3. And then the Microtech SOCOM Bravo. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That looks good. The knives that Reich is doing for Microtech are turning out so freaking well. I don't think that Microtech can touch Reich as far as their ability to come out with really good manufacturing. I don't think it's even a competition. I mean, Reich is super underrated. I think they're production-wise up there with Riot, to say the least. That Factor is pretty sweet looking too, and I believe that's Damasteel if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, looks good. Looks really good. All right. Hey, and then we've got Jim Miller checking in as well. That's going to be the Kaiser Kobold, and I believe that's the titanium version. And then we've got the Tempest Micro Burst, the new Tempest fixed blade. That's pretty sweet too. I'm digging what I see here. We got a couple fixed blades. We got a couple folders, all on the Blade HQ takedown mat. Not bad. I like it. Channel members, if you want your carry to be featured on the live stream, go to the Discord, pop a picture in the pocket check section. Why not? Why not? Let's all do some sharing. My carry today is super simple. I'm just carrying this. You know, I've got a Hank in my pocket because they're so freaking useful, even though people don't really seem to carry them very much anymore. And then I've got this guy, which is the new Sofern SC13. Little mini flashlight, pretty powerful. I haven't reviewed it yet, but I might. Don't test me. I might do it, even though I know that my audience, for the most part, does not care about flashlights. Oh man, I do it because they're fun, because they're an EDC item. It's something that I'm getting more and more interested in. But they're time consuming. I think the only video that's more time consuming to film than, or I shouldn't say film, to record and produce, the only video type that takes more time to record and produce than a flashlight video has got to be a Steel Snobs video. And that's only because Steel Snobs videos take so freaking long to research. Neil McKenzie is carrying the Off-Grid Enforcer, the Buck 371, the Tiny SOG, the Fallamov Mini Light, and the S&W M&P Shield 9. Man, Neil is fully kitted out today. I mean, you got everything. I should start asking people the question: what kind of belt do you wear? Is it made out of Kevlar? Where do I get one? Asking for a friend. Mr. Prosthetic says, oh yeah, I already got that one. Carried the PMP Aries and the Husqvarna 455. I like it. Let's see. Jim Miller says 230 in Alabama, Kaiser Kobold 2, Tempest Microburst, CRKT, SPEW, and my Kubi Tempest Dust Devil. That's the name of the fixed blade. That's this guy right here. This one right here at the bottom in the micarta. I like it. I think that Tempest Knives is doing a good job on their new fixed blade. Greg Vanderlip says just everything in life wasn't brushing up. Just okay. That's a separate conversation that I missed. Let's see. Dean Griffin's carrying the mini SOCOM in hand, and damn, it's nice. I've heard that. So a lot of people seem to think that the regular SOCOM is too large. It's too big. And so Microtech came out with the mini SOCOM, and people are really, really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. And if I do think that one's made by Reich as well, isn't it? Let's find out. We're going to Microtech mini SOCOM. That one's made by Microtech, right? You can always tell based on, yeah, the SOCOM Bravo Mini. I bet dollars to donuts that is made by Reich. Not that is an issue. Yeah, made in China by Reich Knife. Makes sense. Let's be honest, guys. Microtech could never make something this good in-house and price it to a point where people would actually buy it. If they could, they would, but they're not capable of doing that. Looks like they're in stock right now at Blade HQ, $334. That is not bad. That is really not bad. 7.7 inches overall. Yeah, so it's quite a bit smaller than the regular SOCOM Bravo. Titanium, M390, you know, the typical combination of herbs and spices. I want to see companies branch out. I want to see more knives in different knife steels. It's like I can look at a knife and I'm like, I bet you that knife is either an S90V or M390, and I really hope that it's the former. Not because I dislike M390, but because I don't want to have to talk about the heat treat on M390 anymore. Shout out to Rico. Rico says, Kaiser is better than Civivi, the Geyser Drop Bear. You know what? I think it's on a knife-by-knife basis. Dean Griffith says Reich is the mini. Yep, and Reich also did the regular SOCOM Bravo as well. Let's see if we can find one. I'll show you. Regular SOCOM Bravo should also be Reich as well. Microtech SOCOM, as long as we're not talking about the custom. Microtech SOCOM Bravo. Where are we at? Microtech Knives, SOCOM Bravo. Yep, manufactured by Reich Knives. And the initial SOCOM Bravo was a custom. Just to get that out of the way, it seems like so far all of the Reich Knife collaborations have all been to take a prior custom knife and make it a production knife that is more readily available and less expensive. I say less expensive because they're never cheap. They're never cheap. They're always well made, and they're not priced cheaply. Kind of like this guy. This one is, I talked about this a bit on the last live stream. Loved it. Love it. So good. The microtech matrix. Yeah. I'm digging it. Jim Miller says the mini SOCOM is one of the few minis that I like. You know, I haven't tried a regular one, so I can't say that I would like the mini any better, but sometimes, as long as the mini is not like micro sized, sometimes the companies come out with these micro sized knives and they're really hard to pull off because oftentimes they just feel like a gimmick. For example, this is a knife that I use to cut open a lot of boxes. This is the Concept Mini Corvid, and it's quite a competent little box cutter. I like it a lot. I did put my own edge on there because factory edges are not that great. But it's really easy to not carry because it's so small. Sometimes it's just out of my field of view. And I think that a lot of people would look at a knife this small and just think that it's a bit of a gimmick, even though it's S35 VN and titanium frame lock with a usable action, you know? So micro knives are a tough sell for a lot of people. But they're an easy carry. Pop it in your fifth pocket. Forget about it. Jim Miller says, my Cobalt is aluminum and 4V. I mean, we could have upgraded you to titanium, you know, publicly. They won't tell the difference. I was going to say, Jim, your secret is safe with me, except now it's, it's on the internet. Dean Griffin says, I got a custom Annex. You mean Annex? Annex. That's been back at Microtech for 6 months with a broken lock bar. The China Reich is still perfect. Well, at least Microtech warranties their stuff. You know, it would suck so bad to have a multi-$1,000 Microtech custom break and not be able to warranty it. That would be awful. Neil McKenzie says, Roll, like I said in your info vid, CR1000. Yeah, I want to see more knives made in different knife steels. You know, like there's plenty of the regular ones that I love. I love S90V. I'm really starting to gain a good appreciation for MagnaCut. If you want to see why, hit up my channel. I just released a video on it. 14C, of course, you know, there's a lot of regular everyday knife steels that I like. But there are so many knife steel compositions out there that would potentially be absolutely amazing for knives. Like, for example, Z-Max. When was the last time you saw a knife in Z-Max? Even ZDP 189, which we all know makes for a fantastic knife steel. We don't see very many in ZDP 189, usually because they're harder to manufacture, more costly to manufacture. Even Crewwear. I don't see a whole lot of knives outside of like Benchmade and Spyderco that are made with Crewwear. Why? But I want to see more knife steels. I want to see more options because I know they're out there, but we just don't see manufacturers making anything with them. Not that it makes that huge of a deal in reality, because many of us aren't going to use our knives enough to be able to tell the difference. I'll clown on myself for a second, outside of, busting open Amazon boxes, some food prep every now and then. How much do we really look at the grain structure of the knife? But it's fun. As a collector, as an enthusiast, it's fun to have different options and to see if you can tell the difference when you go to use them. Dean Griffin says, reminds me of the Berg Mini Slim. That's another brand that I want to check out more of. Berg Blades. Dean Griffin says, Annex. I always feel knife names wrong. You know what? It's better, honestly, I'd rather have someone spell the name of a knife wrong than to pronounce it wrong. I have OCD. I can't help it. Like, for example, when Metal Complex pronounces shaman as the shaman, it bothers me. And I know that it's dumb that it bothers me, but it bothers me because you can call it a shaman, you can call it a shaman, but shaman is not, that's nothing. I know. Grammar Nazi? I don't know. Maybe. Microtech Annex. That's one that I was very interested in. It's an integral. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Integral. And it looks good. It's not cheap. Integral knives are not cheap, but it shows you just what Reich is capable of when you check out things like the inlay. You look at their ability to produce an integral like this. High quality, lots of milling, perfect chamfering and contouring. I mean, shoot, they even did the stupid tri-wing screws. And yeah, I think that the Microtech proprietary screws are garbage, absolute garbage. I don't know why Microtech thought, they're like, you know what we should really do? We should do a titanium lanyard bead. That'll be a good idea. Stop it. Yeah, it's an option. You don't have to have it on there. But like, really? I wonder, does the custom Annex have that? Microtech custom Annex. Did they have that? Let's see if we, you know, I'm seeing pictures of the Marfione Annex, the custom, but I'm not seeing any with that lanyard situation that aren't the new Reich version. Why did they think that was a good idea? Who approved this? Tony? No. Jim Miller says Nip and Mini Pyrite are great minis. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But the Nip isn't really a mini. It's just a small knife. You know, it's not like they made a big knife to begin with. I wouldn't call this a mini because it's the first version of this knife. Had they made the Devo Nip and it was like a full size 7-8 inch knife, and then they came out with this one, that's what I would consider it a mini. This one's just a small knife. As far as like my categorizing things goes. All right. Hey, shout out to Dwayne Letterman joining in. Thanks for being a channel member, Dwayne. All right. Top Dog says, I got Bestech Falco Concept Copperhead, the Manly Wasp, and a Nightcore EDC 33. Yeah, I like that. That's a good carry right there. All right. Mr. Prosthetic says, anyone played around with the Microtech Annex? I haven't. I know a lot of people in the community have, and they seem to say that it's really, really good. It's a bigger knife. It's an integral, if you like that kind of jazz. Integrals are kind of a engineering anomaly. Like, if we're looking at knives as tools, they don't make sense as to why you would do that, because it's not like you get anything extra. Like, sure, you could argue, yeah, you get some structural integrity from making an integral, but they are way more expensive to produce. They're much harder to maintenance. And I mean, technically you could say, well, it's easy to take apart, you know, you have less parts. Sure. It's just one of those things where I wonder, like, who decided that the world needed integral knives? I'm not complaining. I'm just wondering what what's the science behind an integral? Like, is it all about structural integrity? Do we just want to mill stuff out of a single solid piece of material? Hey, welcome into Ant. He says, hello, fellow Coloradans and the rest of you that live somewhere else and not as awesome. Hey, man, you know what? Not everyone can afford to live in the great Spyderco state. As a Denver resident, I'm happy to report that, you know, people are in fact leaving. For a while, they were just coming here in droves. And rent kept going up and kept going up. Now they're leaving because nobody can afford to live here. And rent is still way too damn high. Yeah, Colorado. It's snowing today. Okay. Dean Griffin says, I think it's all about the challenge. You have to have it down pat to pull it off. Yeah, no, you have to listen. I'd be willing to bet that most manufacturing companies have a fail pile, right? When it comes to their integrals, because if your machining isn't perfect, if you're off even a tiny bit, it's not going to work. The tolerances won't work, and you can't just remove a scale and put one back on because it's an integral. It's all one solid piece. That's why they're so much more expensive to make. Ginger Fisher 75 says, would love the amphibian if the original goat made scales to match my MSI. So I saw a post. Metal Complex posted it was a small video, a reel, an Instagram reel of him messing around with an MSI. And Original Goat responded to it in a very cryptic message that made me think that they might actually be coming out with some for the new microtech ramlock knives. Let's see. Original Goat microtech. If we do did they already come out with the MSI scales? Is this old news? This is old news. Where have I been? Here I thought I was, giving away market secrets, but it turns out that I'm just late to the party. I don't check out Original Goat all the time, but they do have the MSI scales. It makes me wonder if they're going to do a run for the amphibian. I don't know if the amphibian was is as successful as the MSI was. I would love to see them do a run of scales for the Stitch. That's the one that I have. But they do have titanium scales that for many people who bought the FRN version of the Microtech MSI, if you want these scales, you will be paying more than you paid for the knife. I mean, can I throw shade? These are rock scale design titanium scales. These scales are $125. The hardware with the back spacer and the clip, that's another what? 150, $200. So yeah, I mean, it's not like when you go to modify your knife, you're not already spending more than what the knife was worth, but something to think about. What do they have? These are aluminum. The aluminum ones aren't bad. The aluminum ones are $80. I like that. You can roll incognito and just tell people that it's titanium, and they'll never tell the difference. Some people will. So the aluminum ones go from 80 to 135. The titanium ones go from 225 to 245. The big difference between aluminum and titanium is aluminum is a little bit lighter, titanium is a little bit stronger. Maybe a lot bit stronger. They also anodize differently. Aluminum holds on to its anode a lot better than titanium. Titanium, when you get your greasy your greasy paws on titanium, it alters the color. It's based on how the light refracts off of the oxidation on the scales. Oh my goodness. We're trying to talk here. It's a struggle. I probably should have eaten lunch, which would have been possible had I not screwed up the pizza dough. Hey, shout out to Sean Weiss. He says, market secret, SDK shocker. I like market secrets. What is this? I don't know what this is, but I actually like it. Is that it looks like almost like a harpoon buoy. That's crazy, man. That's sweet. I like it. Blade shape looks practical. It's got plenty of belly. Why won't it let me? I wanted to blow up the picture. It looks better on the live. But it looks like it weighs about 3.7 ounces, just over 7 inches overall, just over 3-inch blade, 20 CV. I knew it. I knew it. Can we get a different steel? I understand 20 CV M390 is a perfectly good super steel. I was hoping for S90V. Is that yep, that's a DLC version. So you can get it with DLC and satin. Sweet. So this is a Bad Habits manufacturing design. Okay. I've checked out some of their stuff. I haven't reviewed anything from Bad Habits manufacturing. This one's going for $300. Titanium, obviously. You can get it with a DLC blade. Depending upon what you go for, it's going to be between $285 and $295. Not bad. Not bad. They're saying that the 20 CV is 61 HRC plus or minus 1 Rockwell hardness. So it's either going to be 60 HRC or 62 HRC or 60. Yeah. Wait, no. So it's either going to be 60, 61, or 62. That's their range. Math's hard today. Dean Griffith says, that's a secret, all right. I haven't seen it. Yeah, no, that is the first time I've seen this. I've never seen that before. Tuya is they have some pretty cool designs. I've heard questionable things about the guy that runs the US operations for Tuya, but I've never experienced it myself, so like, what am I supposed to say? But check this out. They've got the Kingsman V2 and oh yeah, of course it's sold out. The silver twill carbon fiber looks fantastic. Look at that. Yeah, no, that looks great. The Kingsman. I've had my eye on one of those, but the one that I want is in silver twill and it's sold out. It's a shame. By the time I found that knife, they had already sold out of the version that I wanted. And I'm learning a lesson. I'm learning that when you're spending hundreds of dollars on a knife, don't settle. If you settle, you'll always see pictures of the one that you could have had, that you should have had, that you don't have, and you'll never truly be satisfied with what you do have. So if you're going to spend hundreds of dollars on a knife, my recommendation to all of you is don't settle. Get the one that you want. And if you can't afford to get the one that you want, then be happy knowing that at least you won't be sitting there having spent hundreds of dollars thinking about a knife that you don't have. Still. That's my sermon. That's where we're going with today. Let's see. What else is new? What's new at Blade HQ? Those aren't new. I've never seen this one. The Arcform Alt. Cut straight back minimal fixed blade. Is that whole thing? No. I was about to say, it says titanium. My brain for a second thought, why did they make a knife out of titanium? That doesn't make good blades still. No, I'm wrong. It's CPM 30 S35VN, and then they bolted the blade onto a titanium handle. I need to calm down. I'm about to get everything wrong today. Hey, how's it going, Old Dominion EDC? Old Dominion says, if you can't get the blade you love the blade you're with. Are we still talking about knives, or are you giving me some relationship advice? Oh man, I love the knives that I have. You know, like every time I miss out on a drop, or I just don't have the cash to make it happen on what I really want, I'll do something like pick up this knife, for example. You know, this is one of those knives that makes me feel good about what's in my pocket, what's in my hands. And I'm not, when I hold this, I'm not fiending for other knives, right? Same thing for this guy. This is another knife that, like, this is 100% the one that I'd want. The more popular version of this knife is the one that is full titanium, but with carbon fiber inlays, whereas this is a carbon fiber overlay. But what I like about this one is that this one is going to feel a lot lighter because there's more carbon fiber and less titanium. And carbon fiber doesn't feel as hard around the edges. There I go, another rabbit hole. Ginger Fisher 75 says, I got the pre-order MSI scales. Nice. That's really nice. He also says, being a CNC programmer and operator, can understand why we can't order a set of whatever we want. Once you get a set programmed, you can run it whenever you want. Good to know. All right. The Night's Edge says, been working on my content creating game. Okay. But hit a roadblock. I'm at 69 total videos, and if any number was a good number to stop at. 69. Yeah. Yeah, why not? I'll say this, man, just as a piece of advice. If what you're trying isn't working, try doing it another way. My videos have this weird thing where I'll get in a rhythm, right? I'll put out like 10, 15, 20 knife reviews, and it starts to feel stale, not only for me, but for people that watch the channel, because all of a sudden my views just start to plateau on average. And that's usually an indicator for me that I need to make a video that's not just a knife review, that doesn't have a shopping channel feel. And so, for example, today I came out with the Steel Snobs video on MagnaCut, and not only did it feel great to produce that video, because I wasn't just talking about, the ergos and blah, blah, blah and all that. I was doing something different, something that I was extremely interested in, and it feels great. And that video is so far, at least, performing pretty well. But my suggestion to not only you, but any new knife content channel or channel that finds themselves struggling to move past a plateau, try a different route on your episodes. Try doing something different. If you're not getting the results you want, doing the same thing over and over is 100% the definition of insanity. And I think that's what a lot of people run into, is they're either afraid or uncomfortable to think outside the box on trying something new. If you look through my video history, you'll actually find quite a few random little videos that don't really fall in line with everything else that I make. Like, for example, I did a video on best knife to carry in the apocalypse. Who does that? The video didn't perform super well, but it got me out of my comfort zone. And I think that's important. I try to think of it as, I'm also a viewer. What do I want to watch? Just some ramblings. Dean Griffith says, Roll, what is that? You talking about this one? Yeah, this is the Microtech Matrix. I reviewed it. I love it. Well, I didn't review it. I reacted to it. It's not a full review. Full review will come in the future. How near? I'm not entirely sure. I still need to do my full review on the Brian Brown Jaeger M version 3. It deserves a follow-up video. But yeah, no, the Microtech Matrix, I think this is the one you were asking me. Or were you asking me about the other knife that I showed, which was this guy? The Night's Edge says, I'm throwing up some sharpening videos in there to swap it up a bit. Started doing playlists, which has helped show me how diverse I'm being with my video types when uploading, and is convenience for audience. Yeah, man. The best part about having a small channel, and I enjoyed this thoroughly when my channel had like 50 subscribers. I felt free. I could do whatever I wanted, and I had a lot of room to mess up and to be cringy and to make mistakes, because when you don't know if anyone's going to watch or not, that's the best part. You have no idea. And sometimes you try stuff that you think you're like, what, I'm going to put this out there. It's probably not going to get viewed. And then you get thousands of views. I kid you not. I thought I did a video on 3 reasons why you should buy a Spyderco Para 3. That was one of my first videos. I was like, nobody's going to watch this. The Para 3's been out for years. What else is there to know? And it became one of my most popular videos for over a year. It was only recently overtaken, actually. And that video was not very well made. The recording's not good. The video quality's not good. The audio is okay. I could have done it better. In fact, I did that video again because it bothered me how many people were watching a video that I wasn't proud of the production of. So just be free, man. Have fun with it. Try different things. Don't sweat it. If something performs well, you know, you've got something good to lean on. Night Edge says, Rollshambo, you said you were going to torture test that one, right? No. No, I don't torture test knives. That's not something that I do. It's not something I would enjoy. There are channels that do that. I'm not one of them. You know, could I spine whack this and find out that the lock is or isn't good? Sure. But yeah, that's not really my lane. I could make it my lane. I'd have to find a place to do some destruction videos though. You know, Joe X style. Hey, shout out to my man Blue Minati Ninja. Another channel moderator in the house. Joseph Jones is another channel member in the house. He says, sent out my Mordax for some mod work today and sent out a few knives to get all sharpened up. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's, dude. There's few things that I appreciate more as far as my tools are concerned than a really sharp knife. That's why I do my sharpening myself. I want to know when I go to cut something that it's a laser because I made it that way, right? There's a knife that okay. So I'm going to take a second and I'm going to vent a little bit. This knife, the Maxace Capsule. I have one of the first released reviews on this knife. That video did not perform super well. It didn't perform badly, but people looked at this and they commented and they're like, don't like it. Not my thing. And then, you know, all the other channels got their hands on this, like the bigger channels, right? Like Knives and Metal Complex. And all of a sudden I checked the comment section. I'm like, you know, what do people think about this knife? And people are just in love with the Maxace Capsule. And I'm like, what's the difference between when I do a review and, you know, and they do a review? Why do people like it more when they do it? It doesn't make any sense to me. I guess you could call it the difference between, you know, a reviewer and an influencer. I'm not big enough to consider myself an influencer. I give my opinion on knives. Sometimes people agree, sometimes they disagree. But you got these bigger channels out there being like, this is fantastic. And everyone else is like, yeah, they're fantastic. And then they go to my comment section to let me know how they really feel. It doesn't make sense. This is a fantastic knife, by the way. This is the Maxace Capsule. Yes, it looks like a Pokeball if you know what that is. If you don't know what that is, it also looks like a red and white Good and Plenty or a pill. This knife is extremely satisfying. It's got titanium handle scales, titanium liners. The handle scales are Cerakoted titanium. The action is phenomenal. I can actually do this. Like, I can't do that with front flippers usually. I don't know why. Maybe I have weak finger strength. I don't know why. But I just thought it was interesting to about the fact that, like, people seem to be changing their opinions based on who's reviewing the knife and their reaction. What a crazy world we live in. Like, guys, you don't have to agree. I'm just going to throw this out there. You don't have to be influenced. I actually really enjoy it when people disagree with me in a respectful manner in my comment section so that we can have a conversation. I've learned things like that. I've had people teach me things in my own comment section or give me information that I just didn't have until I saw that. So I actually appreciate when people don't always agree with me. And to anybody out there listening, you don't have to agree with your favorite knife channel. Just throwing that out there. Joseph Jones says, how much that run? If we're talking about the Maxace Capsule, I'll show you where I got it. I bought mine from White Mountain Knives. And I'll show you exactly what I paid for it. It's the Maxace. What do you want to bet? After Neves and Metal Complex got their hands on these probably sold out. What do you want to bet? These were readily available up until the point in which the bigger channels got their hands on them. Irony. Looks like you could still get the purple and green version, which is, I almost pulled the trigger on this one. I got the red and white because I felt like it would be more iconic, but they are $228. Or if you use my discount code, which I don't get anything when you use, it is just a 10% discount code for you. But if you use my discount code, which is RSB10, you can take 10% off. 10% off of that is going to be just shy of $23 discount, which means that you can get it for like $205. What do you get? Full titanium construction, garage stop pins. It's a frame lock. It is a frame lock. That's the thing, is that these titanium scales are actually just really overlays, but they're Cerakoted and they feel good. It's the 3D milled titanium pocket clip with the ball bearing back spacer. It's fantastic. This is fantastic. And so many people told me, dude, you're weird for liking that. But now bigger channels get their hands on it and boom, sold out. It's a sold out show. Guess which one they reviewed? The red and white. Coincidence? I think not. I just realized I'm not even doing a screen share. I was too busy ranting. Hey, and shout out to Bluminati Ninja for the 5 gifted memberships. All right. So yeah, I just did that whole spiel and I didn't even have the knife pulled up. It's okay. I was showing it right here. $228 White Mountain Knives is what you can get them for, or you could just use a discount code. There's plenty of channel discount codes out there. There's Love Them Knives. There's mine. There's Tri-State. There's Duty's Daggers. Everyone has a White Mountain Knives discount code. But yeah, it's this guy right here. It's Japanese style Tanto, which I really like. I'm not super impressed with the factory edge, but it works. I could, in fact, change the edge geometry on here. It wouldn't be that difficult. It's M390. It's good. Hey, and the Knight's Edge says Rollshambo / Shabazz 2024. You heard it here first. Let freedom ring. I'm not running for president. Joseph Jones says kind of like the purple and green. Yeah, you know what? Like, it's a Joker style theme. I think it's available. The red and white sold out. Pick up a purple and green if you want one. I highly recommend it. This knife, I've fidgeted with this knife so friggin' much. The action is very, very highly addictive. I do this thing called the snap flick. The one thing I will say is this: if you like, you're going to want to Loctite it. It does not come with any thread locker on the pivot, so you're going to want to do some thread locker. Before you do that, wipe down the pivot screw and wipe down the pivot screw with some rubbing alcohol. Because if there's any lubrication on that pivot screw at all, it's going to resist. It's going to resist the thread locker. So that is my recommendation. I don't think it's a damning thing. There's plenty of knives that don't come with thread locker. I'd much rather put my own Loctite on the pivot than have them, put like an ungodly amount of white Loctite on there. The Knight's Edge says, I told Metal Complex in the last members giveaway in the comments that he should do a live with you, Rollshambo. Did I get a response? No, but I put it out there. So it's possible. I'll say this. Metal Complex either knows that I exist and likes to ignore me, or he doesn't know that I exist and he just never sees me in any comments at all and actively avoids. It's one or the other. He might just ignore me. I've left quite a few comments on his videos in the past, some of which, like, I just didn't agree with him on his take on things. Still enjoyed his channel. You know, he's one of the people that's responsible for really building the YouTube community. I'm not saying he is the only one. I'm saying he's one of them that is responsible for building a lot of enthusiasts here. So naturally, I've seen a lot of his content. But Josh 33025, welcome in. He says no one likes Buzz Lightyear. It's all Pokemon fanatics. Poor Buzz. Poor Buzz. What did he do? You know, like he couldn't be Woody. I don't know where I was going with that. Ant says, I cannot stand a front flipper that sticks out that much. You know, it's actually not that bad. At least for me, action super smooth, really easy to actuate, very, very fidgety, and it's satisfying. It's so satisfying. There's just something about the build quality on here that I really love. And the feel of the Cerakote on the handle scales. I want to see more knives with Cerakoted titanium. Let's make it a thing. Ed Durbin says, looks too much like the Tucson TS379. I don't even know what that is. Tucson TS379. All right. Let's go. I mean, I could kind of see it. We're looking at a rear flipper instead of a. I mean, I would say that this is a very generalized blade shape. Let's see. I could see the resemblance. I can tell you right now that Tucson doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not wowed by it, and that's okay. Yeah, it doesn't have the fat titanium frame with, you know, like there's a lot of different things here. One of the things that's really enjoyable on this one is the garage stop pins, watching them move because they're a part of the blade, the sound, the Cerakoting is so good. And I don't expect everyone to agree with me. You know, I'm not an influencer. The Night's Edge said, well, Metal Complex is an amazing dude, great creator, but he is a meathead at heart, like the badass quarterback that has no clue the head cheerleader is trying to go to prom with. Is that me? Do I need pom-poms? Am I the head cheerleader? Do I leave my hometown and make a new life for myself? It could be a fantastic story. Josh says, MC is so big now that you really can't interact with him in lives. It's just too many people. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. His lives have gotten really big because he always does these giveaways that are really impressive. And I'm glad that he does. He gets so many knives sent his way. That it's really cool that he gives all of those back, or at least a good amount of them. I think that's cool. And for the record, I know he probably doesn't watch my live stream. Would I do a collaboration with him? Of course. Show me a channel under, you know, show me any channel that does knife and EDC stuff that wouldn't collaborate with Metal Complex. Ginger Fisher says, I think Metal Complex only responds to bots and yes men. I've actually seen him in one of his lives. So here's the bad part, guys. I don't think he understands when he does this, but I've actually seen him respond to people in live chats where they've left him less than favorable comments or chats. And the chat, like, he highlights their comment. And he might not be that mean about it, you know, if he disagrees with someone. But all of a sudden, his chat goes nuts, and they just start piling on these people that don't agree with him. It's like, talk about cyberbullying, I guess. I don't know. I witnessed it happen firsthand, and I was like, "This is crazy." You know, like, this guy just disagreed with a comment that he made, and all of a sudden, his entire chat just piled on this poor guy that just happened to disagree. Ant says, it feels like Metal Complex has outgrown the community. Man, did I accidentally make this live about Metal Complex? I didn't mean to. I don't know if he's outgrown it. I think that he's responsible for encouraging a decent amount of current enthusiasts. Has he outgrown it? I don't know. Who defines the community? You know, where do those guidelines land? I don't know. Hey, shout out to Lone Star Talboy. He says he's tripled down on reverse Tonto being a real shape. Did not exist until 2000 with the benchmade 940. The mob turned on me because of this. I'm sorry, man. So, I don't know. The whole blade shape conversation, it's an interesting one because a lot of it comes down to opinions. Like, for example, what's a Sax blade shape? Is that a Sax, or is it a Warncliffe, or is it a sheep's foot? You know, are we just calling it something? It's a really, really interesting conversation because when you do the research on blade shapes, there is so many resources and some of them actively disagree with each other. Is it a clip point, a spay point? I don't know. It's a something shape. It does this job. Do I believe that certain terms have popped up and popularized at certain points? Absolutely. But it sounds like I'm not the only one that has seen someone get dogpiled in the Metal Complex live chat. Christian Taggart says, just joined, but the Tucson 369 thumb studs can be swapped out with bug out studs or Flytanium Arcade. Right on. I did not know that. Ed Durbin says, all you have to do is mention lanyards and Metal Complex shrivels up like testicles in the wintertime. Oh. There's an image. The Night's Edge says he's not like Tri-State. If you say Tri-State's name 3 times, he will appear covered in piss, rock hard with a rock wall in each hand. Tri-State, Tri-State, Tri-State. Where is he? Bring him in. You know, I think it'd be fun to do a live stream with Tri-State. That would be fun. I would enjoy that. One of these days, we'll have to see if we can collab. Ant says, who defines blade shapes? Is it Merriam-Webster? Whoever writes encyclopedias? Should we give the honor to Chris Reeve? Has he earned it? Or, you know what? Better yet, not Chris Reeve. Laren Thomas. Let's give him, you know, the foremost authority on blade shapes. Let's give him that authority. I'll accept a ruling from Laren Thomas. Lone Star says, but Benchmade has created it as a marketing term to capitalize on Cold Steel's Americanized Tonto success. It's okay, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but he says it's a Kiritsuki or K-tip. However, if you mispronounce Pokemon, you are damned. Mike J says, I just pre-ordered the Manix 2 lightweight scales from Original Goat. Can't wait till April 3rd. They ship. All right. Manix 2 lightweight. So I think that those are significant because for the longest time, you couldn't get aftermarket scales for the Manix 2 lightweight because they didn't have a liner, or the liner was like not supposed to be removed or something like that. Let's see. Original Goat. Let's check it out. Here it is. The scales that he was mentioning. Oh yeah, they're aluminum. I honestly, that looks fantastic. They range anywhere from $95 to $140. Clamshell. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I love clamshell designs on scales because you don't need a backspacer to protect the blade in your pocket anymore. And people don't understand. Like they just don't understand how good it is to have a backspacer on a knife, because you carry a knife in your pocket, you carry other things in your pocket, change, whatever. You don't understand just how much actually collides with the edge of your blade while it's closed in your pocket. But I promise you, if you were to carry two knives, two of the same knife, and one had a backspacer and the other did not, I would bet you the one with the backspacer would have far better edge retention just because it's not constantly clanging against stuff in your pocket. That's just my take though. Love clamshell designs. It's like an integral, but not. You know. Those look good. Those look really good. I like it. Lone Star says they do not have a liner and were only rivet constructed until September 2022. Yeah, that makes sense. I had a buddy who this is actually a friend from work that I got into knives. He liked knives before, but he wasn't really a fanatic until he met me. I started showing him my modified Spydercos because that's one of the things I love doing is modifying Spydercos. And he went out and he bought a Manix 2 lightweight because it was less expensive than the regular Manix 2, fully intending to modify it. And then he found out that the scales he bought wouldn't work because he didn't have a liner. So then he went around and he bought another Manix 2, this time a regular one, the non-lightweight, purely for the liners. And I said, well, why didn't you just put the scales on the new one you just bought? And it's because the lightweight had Maximate and he really wanted the Maximate steel. Now, that same friend, I warned him. I said, be careful. Maximate is brittle. I know you like to throw your knives around. Don't throw this one around with the Maximate blade. He is fidgeting with it at work. It drops on the carpet tip first and snaps the tip. A 3-foot drop on carpet. And people tell me that Maximate isn't that brittle. That's pretty brittle. That's my story about a Manix 2 lightweight. But yeah, I like those scales. Those look great. Hey, welcome in Anaso. He says, it's interesting how that was the thing when I first got into knives and we've shifted back to backspacers. I'm just happy to be here. Dude, we're happy that you're here. Ant says, Cole has a good sense of humor for sure. He does. Someone once said that Tri-State is kind of like the Jim Carrey of the knife community. And I agree 100%. He is super funny. Very, very funny. A very engaging person too. Lone Star Cowboy says it's already Super Bowl Sunday here. For a second, I was like, is it Sunday? Did I go live during the Super Bowl? I need to eat something. I'm starting to get a little delirious. All right, guys. So we're going to tone down the music. We're going to pull it back a little bit. My live streams only go for about an hour. And they do so because I know that you guys have lives to get back to. I want you to go out there and enjoy the day, whether it's sunny where you are, whether it's snowing where you are. Get out there. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Be fantastic. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for joining the live stream today. The Saturday lives are getting bigger and bigger every single time, and it's fantastic. I wouldn't do these if you weren't interested in them. So thank you for being a part of my favorite hobby, for being a part of our small part of the community, our small corner. Thank you. That's all I've got. For some of you guys, I'll see you soon. For everyone else, I'll see you later. Go make it a hell of a day, and I'll catch you on the flip side.